Welcome to the Art of Hating channel. Today we got a look behind the scenes with Larry Lawton's podcast interviewing Ed Rose on the power and the difference of a cold plunge versus cryotherapy. An interesting difference, but there is some. So let's listen.
You do those, those the things. I have a friend who owns a couple of stores like that. That you get in those tubs or
Well,
something.
no, you can get they can have tubs, but I was doing cryo before
Cryo.
that.
That's what I meant.
I
That's
was
it.
doing cryo, but cold plunge, cryo can't touch cold plunge as far as effectiveness because
Really.
you don't
And
put
what exactly is a cold plunge? Tell the audience.
cold plunge is like a bath, a
Of
big
ice.
bathtub. No, it's not ice. It's just there's chiller alongside of it. That's the way you used to do it, and that's a pain in the ass get the ice because I tried to do that in the past. That's why cryo was so effective. But some guys, American ingenuity, they got this little bathtub with a little what do you call it, compressor chiller. What
Yeah, like a condenser
a
that could keep you.
condenser
Yeah.
that chills the water, and it's so convenient. And they got one that switches back from hot to cold, but I got a sauna right next to it. I actually do so many things that try to keep me young. It's kind of ridiculous, but it works, man. That cold plunge is the bomb. My son does it now. I've turned a lot of my buddies onto it. I
What
put
does
it.
it do for you? Like I often, you see people do. I was stationed when I was in the Coast Guard, and I got hurt actually in the Bering Sea out in Alaska. And I remember being a diver on the ship and having to go in, but we had dry suits. We didn't have, because the
What's a
water
dry suit?
dry suit is you don't get wet. The water don't touch you.
Okay.
You literally you go under the ship. You had to check the props, check the radars, check the sonar system. We had a 378-foot ship, so we had a dive team that we used to do stuff. But the besides the dive team, we used to go play in the water. I did survival school in Alaska, in Kodiak, Alaska.
Oh my lord.
But you ever see the people they jump in the water? I mean, just they call it the polar bear
Yeah,
plunge.
yeah, yeah. I've
Is
seen. I
that what
taught
you're
those
talking
people class.
about?
It's very similar, but different. And who's the Uberman? Uberman has got a lot of stuff on that. Professor Uberman, you ever watch him?
Mm-mm.
He's got a podcast that's got millions of people on it. He's a pretty intelligent guy, but he supports it. But what is it about? It's about look, the guy that really is the father of cold plunges or coldness is Wim Hof on YouTube, and he's like he's climbed Mount Everest or in his shorts, and he stayed. I seen him one time in a presentation where the guy's talking. They put him in a thing of ice for like 20 minutes, and he stayed in. He's in a glass tube like magicians get in the water.
What's that guy's name? David Blaine.
David
Isn't
Blaine,
he?
yeah.
That guy's
Well,
crazy, man.
he does that kind of stuff. But this is guy's doing it for real. Now,
No, he's real. That
yeah,
guy's real,
but
David Blaine.
but I brought out Uberman. See, I'm like a squirrel sometimes, jumping from tree to tree to lose my train of thought. But Uberman, Uberman
I love it.
uh, said that it's different when you aren't consciously, if you're consciously getting in that cold water, it affects your body differently. And I'm going to tell you, basically, it's like this. You ever feel have a bad day? You ever get up and say, "Oh shit, I don't want to face this"? I got to talk to Ed Rose Day on that damn podcast. I don't,
Actually, no.
no, you never had that one, guy.
I am
Okay.
I was tortured in prison. I still wanted to get up.
I tell you what, you're an unusual fella, and you are an unusual fella, dude. But let me get back to my point. Sometimes I'm pretty motivated too. I mean,
I know that. That's why I'm glad
I got a great life, great family, great kids. Have
great
a
energy.
lot of problems.
Great energy.
Yeah, I wish I had that when I was younger. If I was young, like my son, look, if you get it, basically, if you get up, you're not feeling good. Well, let me go back. Let me go back to not the feeling good, but I get up every morning as a 76-year-old and I play like 200 games of softball a year. That I'm sore every damn morning. Now I cannot get in that water, and in about 3 hours I might be all right. But if I get in that water and I stay in there 3 minutes, that's all I stay in 3 months now. I get out of that water, dude. I feel like a 25-year-old. I'm ready to go play softball. Now, 4 hours later, when I return, I need to get it in again.
But question on that. Is it like jumping in a cold shower? I mean, I sometimes
You
get in the
can
water. Bam! I feel
you
great.
can do the same thing. And sometimes when I'm in a hurry, I'll just do the cold shower. But I've done that for years. They call it contrast, the cold and the hot. If you get into a cold shower and then you do hot, in theory, what's happening, right? When you're cold, your body's rushing blood to you. to
Warm you up, right? Especially
Now
the
when you,
armpits
now
and
when
the
you get
groin.
hot, your blood they want blood to you to cool you down, So it's like the verse, and it'll work. And and even Wim Hof says, go ahead and take that cold shower if you want to take cold plunge. It costs $5,000 for that little tub, but it's worth every dime.
Oh, you have one?
Oh yeah, I got one right in my back porch.
Now you take this cold plunge. Obviously, as a Coast Guardman and understanding water, hypothermia can set in pretty quick. Can you get hypothermia in that?
Well, I'll tell you a little story on that one. Well, when I first got it, it's like I'd listen to these guys talk about getting in it. So how long can you stay in it? Well, most of the people that come over, including myself, the first time it's like, holy shit, 1 minute, I got to get out. Ooh, I said, but
You can say that. You can say anything you want.
I got to get out of here, man. But then eventually one day I started and here's the deal. I can tell you to this day, I can get in there now. I can tell you when a minute and a half is up.
This is what your dishwasher looks like after 1 year. It's a colony of billions of mold and bacteria living deep inside your dishwasher that not only make your dishes cloudy and dirty.
From the threshold.
So
of pain.
that's all you stay in there?
No,
right?
wait, no. I'm just saying. I can tell you when it's a minute and a half because my feet are about to drive me crazy. So you got to get past that point of holy shit, this is cold. I want to get out of here. You get past that, and I used to listen to music to keep my mind off it. But now I'm to the point where I try to use that as my meditation. I can't meditate and you go, it's stuff you gotta do.
I love it.
But I can sit in there and fine tune my mind. And what I do in there is I'm saying either, this may sound ridiculous, but I say kill cancer, kill cancer. A positive thought, so to speak, to try to control your mind. But getting back again to them on that limb, the squirrel jumping from.
No. You're just like me, so we're good.
Yeah, I know.
I'm so out there.
But we were going to how long I stayed. I stayed in there 10 minutes one time. Okay, and I said, hey man, I stayed there 10 minutes, so it wasn't bad. But I'm sitting there watching TV, maybe an hour or so later, and I'm telling my wife, I'm cold. Give me something. I think I was close to hypothermia there. I think my body was reacting to that. I got cold as hell, dude.
In Alaska, when we were in Alaska, we were on a ship, and if you fell overboard, you would die in about 4 minutes.
Yeah.
If you didn't have the suits we had and stuff, you would, because we even had regular suits, so you'd get wet. But what happens in those suits is the water gets between you and the thing, and your body heats that water up. That's how wetsuits work. People think you stay dry. No, a layer of water goes between you and the wetsuit.
Oh, really? I never knew that myself.
And that's why your body will heat that water. Your body's 98 degrees.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was going to ask you, because if you ever notice, you can take you take something hot or cold, and you not handle it. Keep your foot or your hand on it, your body temperature will adjust to it, and it could stay longer, obviously. But that's the same. Have you ever been in a sweat lodge for Indians?
No.
You guys, you heard of a sweat
I heard
lodge?
about those people that died in that sweat.
Sure, I've been in it. I used to smoke weed in it, but in prison, the Indians had that. But I meant American Indian. I meant Native American.
Be careful.
I know. I'm all fucked
off
up.
of this.
I get canceled every week.
Yeah.
But the Native Americans, they do the sweat lodge, and I've watched many people fall out. But it's a lot of it's here.
What does that really accomplish?
It's supposed to take the impurities out of your system and stuff, and you will go out. And it's the same when you do ayahuasca. Have you ever heard of ayahuasca? Ayahuasca
I have not.
Ayahuasca is a.
Hope you enjoyed that brief look behind the scenes. You want to watch the whole episode? Go to Spotify. Look up Larry Lawton, one of the largest channels on Spotify.